Good day, my friends. I hope this finds each and every one of you well and on a fantastic journey to Wellville and Godville, if you want. You know, I'm proud of every one of you. You've all done really, really well. And I was given this Coroner investigates death of girl who refused chemotherapy. Makes you sick. And this is the death of an 11-year-old girl was sparked headlines after her family agreed to let her stop chemotherapy. Will be investigated by a local coroner. Anybody aware of local coroners? You know where their heads are? This individual is a member of the First Nations tribe in Canada. Died after suffering a stroke on Sunday, according to a family statement. Friggin' Native American, Native Canadian, and she had acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Basically, your lymph system's breaking down either your bone marrow or spleen. Leukemia is generally diagnosed when you have elevated or low, and particularly low white blood cells, and then low platelets. If you have higher white blood cells, that's even better yet. If you have real low whites and real low platelets, of course that's serious. Generally bone marrow. But spleen can be involved as well. But the first thing chemo does is destroy the spleen. The very thing that they're trying to fix, they destroy with chemotherapy. You see that almost in every blood work there is. So they killed this, and at least the parents knew it was from the chemo. Now, why did chemo cause a stroke? With the right attorney and the right chemist, they could get some good money here, and start this whole understanding of what you don't do chemo, why you don't put acid on top of acid. That's a crime, and it should be considered a crime when that's done, especially from a healthcare professional whose job is to protect your health. And you can't say I'm giving chemo to prolong your life or anything, because the studies show you live longer without it. So it's just lie after lie after lie stacked on top of each other. Crazy stuff. And then just to give the stats on the first year, boy, what an undercover job that is. Why don't you give the stats up to 5 years? That would be a good one. But the family's, of course, blaming chemo. Now, why did chemo cause this poor little young 11-year-old to stroke? God. Acids. And what does acids, how is acids met in the body by? Some type of base, right? Some type of base chemistry. Thank you. Look at that, man. Ethan? Ian. This is Ian. Look at that. Boy, he's something else, ain't he?
He's getting ready to compete in a bodybuilding contest.
Is he really?
Yeah. All raw. Mostly raw.
Ian, he's kicking butt. Yeah, thanks for this. Now, he's sure a better representative than I am of the raw foods, for sure. Ian, you're kicking your butt. I met this gentleman at one of our classes, and very impressed when I saw him. And he knew that, you would go down, losing, cleaning that lymph system, getting out malabsorption and all that, and he did. He went down, he detoxed himself, he went down, he turned the corner, went right back up, and now this gentleman, ladies, is kicking butt. Very spiritual, very loving man. He's also very good looking, a good bodybuilder, and he knows what's up. A real good representation of nature and raw foods. Good job, man. Good job, my friend. You're a good dude. That's what it's all about. You can turn the corner. Sure, you're on your road to Wellville. Sure, you're going to experience that. Everybody's experience is a little different because of the amount of lymph systems problems that one might have. Some people are malabsorbed and some people are not malabsorbed. And you can't judge one book by the same color. But why would you not, and I don't want to use the word treat meaning treat a disease, but why would you not treat everyone the same? If we're all the same, and it's because you buy into the illusion called diseases, and you buy into that because there's all these different names for all these different symptoms. However, once you understand the simplicity of chemistry, the simplicity of your body, you pretty soon start to realize that all these different symptoms are a product of acidosis and the bite back to the cell. So some of them are inflammatory issues, Others are cell issues, just like what they would be, wouldn't it? Exactly. So when you have a sewer system that deals with acid waste, the sewage from the cells, that system is going to cause some problems, right? Because that's the sewer system. That's the acid side of chemistry. That's the system to be aware of, not the blood. The lymph system, much bigger than the blood system by far. This is a huge system. Remember, your lipid absorption, your immune system, your main immune system, and your sewer system, all wrapped in one, and I'll be damned, we'll probably find it does several other things for you too. Amazing. You know, you're talking about these lymphatic systems. Think about this. You know, they found the new lymphatic system in the brain. What about the one at the base of the spine that Marcy and I are focusing on? They'll find that one too. And when they do, hopefully they'll realize then how wastes are eliminated in the human body. Of course, you're going to always realize that your eliminative organs are the organs of what? Elimination. So if you're having water come out of kidneys, and kidneys are an eliminative organ, is there a problem? Then why would medical doctors think urine should be clear and pretty? You don't know. Ow. Master Morris, who is this? Hey, Rod. I love you, man. Thanks a lot for that comment. If you can give your opinion on ADD, ADHD, it would be fully appreciated. I have a family member, 15-year-old male, who is taking Adderall and has been for the past 6 to 8 years. I know. I believe his doctors were not willing to help in detoxifying him from this drug. Well, let me be in the defense this time of the medical doctors. They don't know any better. They don't know about this. They don't understand this because they're not taught this. So you can't blame them from that point of view. But if you're an oncologist and you're administering chemo, better wake up real quick, because life is not going to be good for you guys. Karma is a bad kickback. And that's not just people suing you, that's karma. But you got to wake up, because karma keeps you locked in here. And I don't want it. I know no one wants it. No soul really wants to be locked in an area of this chemical, this area. So you want to free yourselves up from that. But they don't know how to detoxify from that drug. But again, we want to go back, because this is not just the drug issue. This is a neurotoxicity issue. Generally speaking, you can see this sort of thing taking place after a neurotoxic event. And the most neurotoxic event that you see these follow, of course, is vaccines. These are neurotoxic to the human body, particularly thimerosal. Remember that? Mercury. So, got to know that these are toxic and neurotoxins. You can't give, I think one complication the AMA has is understanding that everyone is at a different level genetically and at a different level of toxicity. Some people you can vaccinate. I'm not for them, but some people you can vaccinate, they don't seem to have a side effect. Other people like Marco end up with polio from it. Matter of fact, Marco is just one of millions of people that contracted polio from the vaccine. Was that smart? And if they go back and say, our vaccines cleaned up polio, somebody ought to slug them in the face. They're still doing that. And it wasn't just a few years ago, there was, in the newspaper, another little baby getting polio from the vaccine. So they're still sneaking in live vaccines. But wrong way to get an immunity, isn't it? Wrong way. Most of you good pediatricians understand that natural immunity lasts a lifetime. Vaccinated immunity, who knows? Plus, the toxicity factor. You're putting in a body that generally has lymphatic problems, more toxins, and that can shove a person right over the cliff. I've told you about the young girl before, but I have she's probably 27 now. I haven't talked with her in a while. I don't know how I feel. The parents has my heart, and then some. Went into seizures right after a vaccination, and this is another thing you see. I had another little girl in Texas went into constant seizures almost, and her left eye actually wigged out left. She went into liver failure post-vaccine, and I got her at about 18. That was 4 months old. Imagine taking 4 months old. You've got little bodies. They're just waking up to this world. Really, digestion, everything's just getting awake from hook to mama. And you feel the body full of toxins. I mean, I have literally no respect for anyone that does these sort of things, and no one should. And no one should expect respect for this sort of thing. This isn't saving lives. This is all so much narcissism that people are actually lost, and in that field are actually lost thinking they're actually doing good to help people. I mean, that's the problem. And that's why it's so important that you guys show how you really help people, how you save them, how you cure them, how you rebuild them. It's a simple thing, and that's what we all need to get on board. Medical, homeopathic, naturopathic. If you want to use some of your tools, yes, there's times you need pharmaceuticals. There's times homeopathics would be good. There's times you can substitute homeopathics for pharmaceuticals. Absolutely. Most of the pharmaceuticals we need is from opium. You know what I'm getting my drift? You're way on up into morphine and all the other ones. If you're going to go ahead and make drugs, go on up with morphine with them. But I tell you, this is how we all got to get on board to the simplicity of this and not hurting people anymore. We've hurt way too many people under the guise of it's good for their health because we're saving so many people over here by experimenting on you. That's all bull crap. It's all lies. It's all crap. It's all a big mess, and that's the problem. We have to change, and you spiritual ones, you beautiful souls out there are the ones that have to stand out there and work one-on-one, and all of us spiritual people have always been the ones behind the scenes. This time we're coming forward because we have to. You can't continue down this road the way this planet's doing. It's just slaughtering its own people. Can't do that under the guise of what? We got to research and find a cure for what? Diseases that don't exist? That's the problem. And it's such an economical blowback on people and governments and everything else. It's sick. All these nurses and medical doctors can become healers, or go into surgeries or ER work. Those are the best places for medical doctors is surgeries and ER work. A great surgeon will take you a long way. A bad one, not so good. And there's a lot of bad surgeons out there. But there's a lot of bad naturopaths and a lot of bad homeopaths. There's a lot of bad massage therapists. We can go that and blame us all in that way. I think it's important that we just all kind of work together and understand that we're the leaders in the field of regeneration of tissue and regeneration of the human body. And come join us, and then we can learn more. We can all pull our smarts together and maybe even speed up the time people can get well and regenerate their tissue and regenerate genetics. Who knows what we could come up with, Be pretty cool. Okay, he is a very good kid, kind, quiet, respectful in all ways, but also he is not alert, not sharp. Well, the first thing I'm going to recommend on someone like that is upper circulation and brain and nerve. I recommend it for anyone that feels like they want to turn on their ability to comprehend, their ability to be awake. Upper circ and brain and nerve, those two are incredible formulas when you start taking them. I think I told you a story about the gambler that came up to me in class. She's got an edge. And she uses brain and nerve and upper circuit. And I don't blame her. That gives you an edge because it wakes you up. It wakes up. And when you learn how to observe instead of think, you see a lot more on top of that. And so, watching, you see so much more than thinking. Thinking, your attention is trapped in your thoughts. When you're not thinking, your attention is not trapped, and you can see as much as you can see. Meditation is allowing you to see within and worlds beyond that. So it's funny, the more you quiet the self, the more you see and the more you know. Other kids make fun of him, call him, that's sad, call him stupid, call him a retard. I hate that crap. You know what? This is a cruel level. Unfortunately, these poor souls that are making fun of him are creating karma. Not good. That needs to be taught by the ministers and priests and monks and everybody else. Taught more to the populace. Must understand karma. Or, Jesus, you reap what you sow. Or, physics, for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. You understand that law changes the way you deal with things. Because only you're going to get the blowback. Not good. It's important to understand that it changes the way you carry yourself, changes the way you interact with people, because you want to get back what you're giving. And you want to make sure you want cut off someone's head, you want to make sure you want that back for yourself. I know you understand when I say there is no energy flow from his neck to the top of his head. Yeah, any suggestion on what to do? Upper circ, right. Upper circ, brain and nerve, my friend. At the same time now, this is a young man. And for a neurotoxic effect, whatever. It could be pesticides or herbicides. It could be any neurotoxin. You want to think about his adrenal glands. At 15, you always want to think about his adrenal glands and his kidneys. If you get a blood pressure cuff, check both of his arms. I think you're going to find this young man low blood pressure. Irregardless, you want to work on the adrenal glands. Why? The myelin sheaths, the nervous system. You want to enhance the nervous system because the weaker the nervous system, neural toxicity is very, very real. The stronger the nervous system, remember, the strong survive and the weaker consumed. And you have to understand it's a very important law. So you want to do everything you can learn about to strengthen the cells of your body, because this pertains to cells as it does to animals, plants, and everything else. So the weak in the universe is consumed to build the new. That's just all we're in. We've talked about this before spiritually. We're just in, nothing dies. You can't die. Nothing can die because everything is consciousness. The bodies we have can only change form because you can't kill the Creator. And everything is within the body of the Creator because that's the all in the all. You can't be outside of something that's omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. You can't be outside of something that's total, that's whole, that's one. You can't be outside of that. That encompasses everything. So everything must be inside of the Creator. So this is all within the body of the Creator, so to speak. In terms of an infinite body, it's hard to explain consciousness in terms of the mind because there's no limit, there's no form, there's no stop and go, there's no beginning or ending, there's none of that. So it's very difficult to describe that to humans at certain levels, what the infinite really means. Got a little technique for you if you want to play with it. Fun little thing. Just quiet yourself. Find yourself on your bed or in a chair and just quiet yourself. Quiet yourself. Sit where you're very comfortable. Relax your arms and start relaxing yourself from your legs up. Relax your legs, relax your butt, relax your back, relax your shoulders, relax your head, relax your mind, and just relax. Try not to think. Keep thoughts out. At the same time, let yourself expand. Try to become the infinite. You just let yourself be, because you already are that at another level. And the way you can experience that is let yourself go. Let yourself, we're all tied up. We're all used to thinking with the mind and creating and emotions and all. Stop all that for a minute and let yourself relax. And let yourself expand in the universe just more and more and more. And just let yourself go. Just totally fall into that and let yourself expand more and more. And play with that and let me know how you're doing. All right, there we go. This is from Todd, or Todd Lambert. Hello, Dr. Morse. I have been to an MD many times and have had several tests. They cannot figure what is going on with me. I am a 43-year-old male who last June started having chest discomfort right before a bowel movement. The discomfort intensified. Yeah, it's funny. The bowels and how they're hooked to the heart and everything else. One thing, another thing you can get is chest pains with gas, trapped gas. Not good. We saw that in the ER a lot. People come in and they think they're having a heart attack, and it's trapped gas because it can make you feel like you're having a heart attack. So yeah, there's all the nerves and how they're linked and all that. You can go down on the vagal nerve there and then make your heart, all of that stuff. But it does show weaknesses when that happens, though. Most people don't feel the vagal nerve, feel all that when you do that. I have done 14-day grape mono diet. Good man. And a 14-day orange juice. Damn good man. My diet up to June was not correct, but since has been mostly fruit and starchless veggies. Smart man. I have had days where there's no pain, but those are few and far between. The discomfort is there every week. You know what? Give me a picture of your eyes, all right? And mark it so. Get it to Gen B. Mark it so. And you can mark it bowels and heart or something like that. Dr. Morse wants to see this. And let me take a look at that and see what I see in your bowel area, in your neurological area. But remember, all this is your body's kind of all hooked together. Everything leads to another, You're hooked together with wires and pipes and everything else. You got your blood pipes, you got your sewage pipes, you got your wiring of your electrical system. So you're all wired and tubed up. This discomfort is there every week. I did see a chiropractor recommendation and had a subluxation in the 7th thoracic vertebrae. I did start to... I'm going to get something to drink. Okay. I did start to notice when the chest discomfort was increased, that area was more sore and tender. Yeah, I mean, and whenever you see a sore and tender area, you know it's related definitely to the lymphatic system. But I mean, we're fixated on the lymphatic system, but that's what your spine is loaded with. All the lymphatic points, your cerebrospinal fluid is part of what they consider the lymphatic system of the brain. So, you're dealing with a lot with the lymphatic system down the back. And of course, it's the lymph system down the back that destroys the vertebrae. Not the blood. It's all the lymphatic system. Always, always, always. And so the 7th thoracic vertebrae. So the 7th, lungs, maybe. You have to look at where these vertebrae go to. And that's where that chiropractor should have told you right there. What is the 7th thoracic vertebrae? What is that linked to in terms of organs and glands? Because that's maybe where you're going to find your problem. So you have to see, and I'm not a chiropractor, so I can't remember where the 7th T-spine is located, but I mean, something to ask them. You call them up and ask them where it's located, but let me see your eyes and see if it's not your lungs or your chest area up there. After a couple of months, though, I ran out of money and was also not seeing any real relief from these adjustments. Well, that's because the problem is lymphatic. The lymphatic system, of course, is that as acids get and sewage and the fluids get more dehydrated, they get harder and stiffer, and therefore your back gets harder and stiffer. And I know everyone has felt that before, in the neck and the shoulders and stuff like that, absolutely. Well, that builds up. That's why those neurolymphatic points down the spine, because that relates to all the organs and glands, but also the vertebrae. So you see how all that's interconnected. And so you've got to work on all of that. I'd work on my neurolymphatics, but I would work on that point, that neurolymphatic point around the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th T-spine. All the back, really, but focus on that a little bit, starting gently, but start to work that neurolymphatic. That'll give you some relief with that. But you want to go on down and work with your kidneys and your bowels. The other thing is, you want to get that kidneys filtering. You want to make sure your kidneys are filtering. You want to go back and understand that your troubles in the lymph system always will be. Because you only have two fluid-based systems. Everything else is the cells. So now you want to think, well, wait a minute here. Which fluid-based system am I having trouble with? Well, that's not blood. So it comes back to what we've been teaching for years, and that is your lymphatic system's backed up, therefore. And so whatever other tissue is involved here, like I said, 7th, you're up a little bit, so you're probably up in lungs. I know somewhere up in that area where the thyroid and the neck area. So you've got something else going on in here that needs to be looked at. And you might even have a weak heart genetically. You never know. You have to see your genes. Heart attacks and stuff does not mean weak hearts. That doesn't mean weak hearts. Heart arrhythmias does not mean weak hearts, at all. But seeing your eyes will go a long way, guys. Looking at your eyes is such a cool science, and it's so simple. Discovered by a surgeon. I think they should love that science, but if you apply diseases to that science, then you wouldn't like that science because it doesn't focus on diseases. It focuses on cells and fluids, just what we're focusing on. That's all you focus on anyway. If you want to focus on diseases, you need to go play outdoors somewhere in that world. But that world isn't for humans because it doesn't apply. You can't cure them. You can't, you only treat them with deadly pharmaceuticals. I mean, it's a mess. But if you get back and you understand how the body's built simplistically, you understand how chemistry deals with life simplistically, acid, base, and the nature of those two, and a little bit of that, which is not much, anybody, any young child can understand what you have to do to get well. You got a lot of young adults out there eating raw and taking herbs. And I'm talking 10, 11, 12-year-olds. If they can understand and do this, up to this point, I can't find any produce-able trigger for this discomfort. Well, it has to be an organ or gland inside, my opinion, because it's triggering the vertebrae. And so the chiropractor, if he's a kinesiologist, should know exactly what that 7th vertebrae or T vertebrae is linked to. I've got a chart out here, but I'd have to look at it. The only way I notice to reduce the symptoms is if I lay down in the morning upon first rising. I always feel good. So it appears it may be compression. Well, yeah, could be. But again, then you have a weak connective tissue, weak muscles, and how do you make these weak? And you're going back. All these questions take you back to acids, and the lymphatic system, and inflammation, and the loss of calcium, or the plaquing of cholesterol, or the edemic side. All that leads you down that road, which is exactly what everybody walks down. We're all the same. So can you help me identify an area to focus on to correct my issue? Well, first of all, you're doing excellent with the diet, and don't stop it. Keep going, because you'll get better, 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 better. So that's how you address it. But if you can afford it, or you can work something out, at least get some basic herbs. Get some basic herbs for the lymph system. I get upper circumbrandin. Well, this is not the one I needed. That was the other one, right? Yeah. So I would definitely, though, get on, and there's another thing I would look at here. Important to look at your eyes, because you want to see if you have a genetic weakness in that vertebrae as well. Or do you have a parathyroid down and you're losing calcium and can't repair it? You see what I'm saying? So you really want to take a look at your lymph system and get that moving. That's prima facie. That's essential. And then you really want to take off and look at where this might be, in lungs or whatever. But detox will eventually pull that out of there, but it might be something you want to know about now. So we need to look at that, correlate that a little more, my friend. And so get me some more information about that, especially your, and since you've seen a lot of medical doctors, if you've got the latest blood work, that might be helpful. Look at your creatinine and stuff and see where your kidney function is and stuff like that. It'll be helpful. Because this indirectly relates to every part of the body. Your kidneys, think about this, your kidneys and skin relate to every part of your body there is, because they're responsible for removing the trash within. Matter of fact, I don't know if you can see this, but I've got a little black dot on my fingernail. It looks like it could be some mercury, but it's working itself out of my fingernail. I've been on orange fasting, and it's working itself right out of my fingernail. And that's how I was telling you about when I fell off a telephone pole, all those splinters worked out the fingernails. Your body just wants to eliminate the best it can. And when you help it out with the right food, your body is eliminating. It's going to clean itself. The beauty of the human body, oh my, and to hurt the human body to try to get well is so insane that I can't even, there's no words to put it. You can't be nice about it because it's insane. You don't hurt the human body to make it well. You love it and help it and build it up. Like Ian, I mean, this guy's looking good. Dr. Moore, spirituality question. I'm stuck with a negative ego. Jeremy. I like spiritual questions, Jeremy. Yeah, I tell you what, the problem is you can't get away from the ego completely because it comes with the equipment. Standard issue. As a matter of fact, it identifies you as an individual. It's the overuse of that. But the ego actually identifies you out of consciousness as an individual. And that's the highest part of the mind, is actually etheric body. And that there's actually etheric worlds that are way out there. Generally linked to the subconscious mind, but really a large dimension is the etheric planes. Down under the etheric planes, the ego is the mind itself. And that is, as you break out of consciousness, which is soul, we call it soul, but you're in an unlimited state almost. And so, as you break out of consciousness to take on form, you're only actually looking through. You're not actually, as a spiritual being, you can't be a physical body. You can't be a mind. You're only using these tools, so to speak. You can't be that because you're too big. You can't stick 10,000 suns into a little bitty body. You guys are real beautiful big beings, and you can't stick those in little bodies. So you have to take your attention and use your attention through these instruments. So you take on an ego, that separates you from consciousness, that pulls you into creation. Now you're an individual. But if you want to create, you have to have a tool to create, because consciousness isn't creative. It is all that is. It is the creative goop. It holds all things in it. So to create out of that, you have to have a mind. And so you start picking up the universal mind. It's a mind where everyone's mind is connected. When you have that experience out of body, it's called cosmic consciousness. And that's when you see, hey, we're all the same. We all have the same mind. Look at that. We're all the same. That's called the universal mind. Holmes wrote volumes of books about the universal mind. Many books have been written by others throughout the ages on the universal mind. Holmes just wrote a lot about it. And then from the pure mind, you get your individual mind called the causal body, and that's where you see your journeys. That is the Akashic records. That's where you have past and future. That's where all that exists. You don't have past and future when you're one, because everything is in the now. Everything is pure consciousness. There is no past and present and backwards and forwards, because everything is one. There is no movement or nothing like that. You don't move from place to place, because that's pure consciousness. It's just pure energy, pure awareness, and that's what you are. To identify you as an individual, you have to pull out of that and take on an id or an ego. I don't know how to tell you too much about that, other than I've had to smack mine and put mine in the corner, and all I can tell you is just keep developing humility. Develop divine love for everyone and humility, because you'll kick your butt. That's the problem, is that egos get kicked. And so, it's hard. I always try to watch mine and keep it standing in the corner. I know I need it for individuality, but that's all. We don't need it to put ourselves above or below. And I mean below. Some of you think you're less than other people. No one's less than someone else, and someone's not more than someone else. We all come out of the one. So there isn't any better or any less. One's mind might be more mature. So what? That could be a double-edged sword. You get too intellectual. Look at what's happened. You get these narcissistic intellectuals. They are the elitists. They consider themselves, they know what's good for everybody. And that's what we're experiencing right now in this world. You see that everywhere, from the President of the United States to the world bankers to many, many people. It's just the way it is. That's how you develop dictatorships. That's how you want to take over the world, control all the money of the world, stuff like that. World Health Organization, same goal. All right, thank you so much for all the nice. Oh, thank you, my friend. I've been watching lots of your videos for over a year now and understand detox quite well. It is easy, isn't it? So forgive me. I mean, I know that probably, like Humphrey said, a little boring, but, it's so simple. That's the thing. And I'm doing these videos currently. Now, we're talking, we're going to shake it up a lot, but I'm doing these videos to get to your questions. And I like I said yesterday, I'm just grabbing them as quick as I can. But hang in there with me, and we'll do some good things. But I just want to, once I feel like we've reached saturation on questions, because we've covered a lot of these, but spiritual questions are great. But detox is so easy to understand. I don't say it's easy to go through. There's some people that go through pure hell to get themselves to Wellville. There's no question. There's others that drive their Cadillacs right into there. So everybody's on a different level. Everybody's been on different journeys in creation here for who knows how long. Some of you have been beat up quite a bit. Some of you are ready to let go, and those are the more spiritual ones. When you're ready to let go, you've had it. That's when you let go of the ego, you let go of everything. You might have to do some meditation, Jeremy, on that. And anytime you have anything that's you think that's a negative ego, infuse it with love and light. You're the controller. You're the only one, matter of fact, Jeremy, that is controlling your world. You control your ego, you control your mind. But the only way you can't control the ego via the mind, because it's part of the mind. So you can't even control the ego from the ego. You know what I'm saying? You have to get above that. And the only level above that is pure consciousness. And the only way you get there is stop thinking, stop creating, become detached, and live a life of total freedom. Hard to do, no question about that. Hard to do. But all the greats came to that conclusion. They realized that's the door. That you are the door into the God world, into who you are. And that's the door. And the ego is through that door. You know, when you're working with masters and spiritual beings, when you come to that level of initiation or that level of baptism or that level of whatever you want to call it, it's ripping. So, Jeremy, if the masters are working with you and you get ripped, let go. Doesn't matter, because you'll survive way beyond your ego. The ego just is that last ground, that last bite, going, becoming more into the now of creation, that last bite, and you have to not care about yourself anymore. This sounds really bizarre, but you have to let go of your own self to find yourself. You have to let go of how you see yourself, how you are. You have to let go of the mind completely. You have to let go of the little self to gain the big self. It's that simple. As soon as you let go of the mind and everything else, you're totally yourself. And it's just like major nirvanic, major empowering. There's no words. There's absolutely no words. It's just unreal. But the only way to get beyond an ego completely, and there's no such thing as positive and negative egos. You know what I mean? An ego, period. So, just don't listen to it. Learn how to be conscious and keep the mind outside of yourself and keep the ego outside of yourself. When you see your ego come in, you take a few minutes and talk to yourself. That's what I do, talk to myself. Because it happens to all of us. You can't get rid of the ego completely because that's your, like I say, your individuality in creation. It's the accentuation of the ego. And it's easy to do that when you super train your mind because that's part of the ego. So you have to be real careful when you're gaining a lot of knowledge that you don't separate yourself as an elitist or as something better than another person because you have knowledge. And in reality, there's knowledge that's true and knowledge that are not true. There's, look at the knowledge that people go when they go to medical school. So much of that's not even true. All the years, all the money. Disgusting. So a lot of things need to change. Whether that can happen anytime soon or not, real big question. But at least you have to start somewhere, and you guys, you're the ones. You're the only ones. So you guys on YouTube and Facebook and all that, and all you clients of ours and clients of yours, look at Ian. He's also helping a bunch of others. I mean, this is how you do it. It's exactly how you do it. And he's living proof of the raw and everything else, and I love that. But a bunch of you are. Matter of fact, I'm proud of each and every one of you. Even the individual just stepping into this for the first time. Ooh, this water's not so bad. Look, it's not hot or cold. It's just perfect. Even those are those beautiful souls that just need a little nudge and say, it's okay. We've all made the journey. It's okay. Come on in. The water's fine. Nobody's biting. Nobody's hurting. Matter of fact, we all try to make everybody feel better, don't we? Absolutely. Now, let's see. I can, everything I can, learning much more about spirituality, which is the main reason I continue to watch. Yeah, I need to do more spiritual videos, I'm working on it. I am now very aware of why I'm experiencing certain negative thoughts and emotions, and I feel I understand my ego now, which I've realized is quite a separate, negative, scary paradigm. Yeah, ain't it? Oh, I know it. No, very scary when you really get back and you look at that. Of course, that's your driver for creation, because creation's fun on one side and claustrophobic on another. It's so limiting of who you are and your giganticness, but it does offer things to do. If you get into pure consciousness, then you'll understand why there's creation and why God has that. But also why and how the Creator's expanding itself endlessly. Amazing stuff. Good. I'm hoping you can offer some advice for how I can move out of what is known to me. I feel quite stuck and I'm experiencing attachment to certain ideas of myself and thoughts. Yeah, exactly. Well, if you can't get detached, it'll get you detached. That's the problem. And the best thing to do is claim your rightful position as consciousness, as soul, And I use soul just because the mind can identify with something. And work from that point of view. So when you see the mind coming in, it takes a little work to do this, guys. You're not going to do it like that. But you work with that. You see the thought come in, and if you're not watching, and you're thinking, you'll never see thoughts coming in because you're living from one thought to another thought to another thought. And you pull back and stop thinking, you're watching thoughts coming in. Oh, there's another thought, and I'm trapped in it, and pretty soon you wake up and go, oh, I was lost in that thought. You have a little bumpy road at first, but pretty soon you can stop those thoughts from coming in, and you can stop that ego. When you feel that ego going up, sit back. Claim your rightful position and control of consciousness, of the self. Become strong. And that, believe it or not, that diet and detoxification is a doorway to this. Because it will clean and strengthen you emotionally, mentally, and every other level. Because all the levels are coming with this. You're not detoxing just the human body. Oh no. When you consume a plant, you're consuming a plant that has an emotional part to them and a mental part to them, the same as you. So you're consuming all levels when you consume anything here. You can't be at this low level of chemistry in creation and not come through the higher worlds. You can't just be soul and then jump here and not have a mind or it all has to come down this process, taking on these bodies. And once you start looking at this, you realize that's not weird, it's true. We all got minds, animals have minds, they prove now that plants have minds and memory. I mean, I'm telling you. So what it should become obvious is that God is everywhere. Everywhere and everything, it's everywhere. And we're all tied to that. We're all a piece of that. In every way, because you cannot be outside of that. You can't be a Christian and say, I'm the potent, I'm the present, omniscient, and then say there's a devil living somewhere out there, because that doesn't happen. You can't be outside of God in an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresence scenario. Can't do it. It's impossible. All those words mean totality, the all in the all, the one. So you can't be outside of that. You have to be inside of that. And that's just how it is. There's not many gods. Some think there is, but there's many sub-gods you could call them. There's an overlord you could call them. There's a being responsible for each major level. There's all kinds of spiritual beings running the universes. All kinds of them. There's the silent ones. There's the way showers. There's all kinds of spiritual beings out there. The way my mind is operating is self-righteousness, disguised as love, feeling I know what's best for others and holding others and myself hostage to some image idea of perfection. Well, you kind of have to let go of that, because you can't care. I mean, you have it. But if you have it more and more, and you might be trapped in the universal mind or something, but you have to keep pulling yourself back to the now, Jeremy. Pull yourself back to the now. Don't have any image of you, because you don't need a self-image, because you're the all in the all already. So you don't need an ego, because you're already all that the thing's in. If anything, your ego should look at others and go, oh, I need to, let me extend my hand out of love. But if no one wants to reach for your hand, okay. Because you have to be 100% secure in yourself. You are your own world. And you have to get to that. And if you can extend the hand and help another soul in their world, excellent. But we don't know what's good for someone else. Who cares? We know that if you want to get to well-being, clean out the human body, there's certain laws that exist on this planet, and everybody should be accustomed to some of these universal laws that exist out there. And when you know, you're starting to realize why things are the way they are, why God designed this world the way it is, why there's bacteria, why there's viruses, why there's funguses, why there's these things in life, and what their job is. And that creation has a birth, life, death scenario. Their atoms are in a constant state of rearranging, suppressing the weak and rebuilding the new, the strong. So it's just a long, it's just an ever-going process of that. And we just, as individuals, come in, go out, come in, go out. All life does that. You need to pull back a little bit from yourself and don't be so intense. The intensity of the raw, and this is the thing is, when you get high up on this raw, you can really accentuate your ego. And I look back and when I was a fruitarian totally, I perceived it as compassion and excitement. I think my friends perceived it as ego. No, I was going, I found truth. Hey, I found truth. Here, you got to look at this because you can get really healthy. You can get way out there. You can touch the feet of God. Nobody really cared. So, that hurt my ego for a while. And then I realized, you know what? It's all about me anyway. It's all about you. That's the world you must live in and give to others because you have your sucre. You found what you need. But it sounds like your development needs to go a little bit more and a little bit more into the now, Jeremy, and let go more and more and more. Sometimes, my friend, it takes hard experiences to break that. Something you can't break sometimes, and sometimes it takes hard knocks, and it's going to come because that's just how life is. It's going to hone you. And if it has to pull the rug out from under your feet to get you to let go, it will. So I would suggest that you just be detached. You don't care. If someone wants it, in that though, I see myself as a way shower. So what I do is just try to show people and help people. If they don't want to follow it, I don't care. I don't care anymore at all because I can't. If I do, I get ripped. And I do care about this 11-year-old. I do care about that 70-year-old a little too much. And you see, that's my problem. I get a little upset when I see this killing machine going after the kids. I do. And I know that it's all in the divine plan. It's all there. That soul's learning. This soul's learning. This is all about growth and awareness, and then each creating their own world. Didn't make it any easier, and it doesn't make it any easier when you're trying to fight your ego. And you can't fight ego with ego. You can only step back away from it. If you feed anything, that gives it power. Don't feed it anymore. Step back. You don't need anybody. You don't need anything. You already have everything you need, Jeremy. You. But your higher self. Let me see. The way my mind is operating is self-righteous. Okay. People's natural reaction pushing against what they rightfully sense as me expressing judgment or control towards them because I'm fearfully separate from others, trapped believing I'm being very loving by trying to help others with a narcissistic know-it-all attitude, while in reality I'm actually stuck selfishly feeding an idea of superiority, of some idea of perfection, of being righteous, truthful, correct within myself. And after they inevitably react to my energy and actions and treat me badly, I am left full of anger, hate, with a mindset of victimization and bitterness, blaming others. Well, that's because you care too much. Let go. Don't care anymore. It's not important. You can't make anybody else do anything. You can certainly show them the book, but you can't make them read it. And that's the thing. You do your very best. That's a good enough move. That's a move. That's plenty of move for the divine. It's up to that soul to make the next move. So it shouldn't matter one way or another. We get that way in the raw food sometimes because it's so powerful that if we're not mature yet spiritually, that this can happen to you. There's no question. So, Jeremy, you got some good stuff, questions here. I went through a little of that here and there, but, well, I tell you what, I came under the Eckmasters, and he pretty much whipped my ass. And so, pretty much I just don't care anymore. I mean, it is what it is. The life is what it is. You give it love. There's many worlds. This is just a little planet. There are so many worlds that you're going to work in and you're going to be in and that you already are in. So letting go of this one, you're going to do well. This one is it's considered the ash can of the universe, actually, through many spiritual beings that universally traveled, of course. But it's enough to say is let go and join us. Let go of all this worldly stuff. It doesn't matter. None of this matters whatsoever. Even your body really doesn't matter because you're going to lose it one day anyway. But suffering is not on the order of the plate. But it is karmic, and you have an opportunity to get rid of it. And I'd take that opportunity. If not, you're going to still play with that for a while. People that don't overcome these things come back and do it again. Well established. Okay. I'm so glad I can now see why my mind is doing and why I'm experiencing the reality that I'm currently challenged with. Well, I think the important thing, and I think something you're alluding to here, is the fact that you're aware that you're doing that. That's a big step. That's a huge step, Jeremy, because a lot of people are not even aware they're involved with that. See, you're just watching your mind and emotions reacting as it is. Now your job is to control them. Put them in their place, because you're the master. Not your mind, not your ego. That just separates you. You are the master of your world, so you put them in place. And you watch them. And when they start to get up, put them back in their place. Send your mind out for information, but don't follow it. And let it come back and bring it to you. Your mind will do that for you. But I feel like I'm up against a brick wall, very stuck in my paradigm with an attitude of self-righteousness disguised as general righteousness. Well, I don't know what to say about that. They're both flip sides of the same coin. It really is. It's just growth, and let yourself grow. Relax. Don't beat yourself up. Don't take this in too much, or it'll control you. Because that's kind of ego too. It just kind of wraps you in control. You just let it all go. It doesn't matter. And that's what I had to do. I don't care if my friends get it or not. I'll drop little seeds here and there, things like that. Start working with people that want your help. And see yourself as a healer, a way shower, where you're showing people. No ego intended, because if they follow, who cares? And if they don't, who cares? No, because this isn't about you. You already have your stuff. You know the road to your journey. Let them have their road to theirs. You just show them the way. Oh, better step over there. There's a big hole over there. Oops. Yeah, I tried to tell you. That sort of thing. It's going to happen over and over and over again. That's why I really like that circle of iron. You ever have a chance to look at that circle of iron? I think it will help you. That's by Bruce Lee. Circle of iron. The growth and unfoldment to the soul plane. Let's see, very confused and stuck full of hate for others. Yeah, let all that go, because that is just what you said. That's ego and stuff like that. And you know what? Who cares if people want you, like you? Who cares? We all have to get to that point where we don't need anyone else in our lives. You ever see those that lose a mate as they get older? Real hard at first, especially the years together. But after a while, they start enjoying the aloneness. And they don't want to find another mate. They enjoy the aloneness. Spend some time alone with yourself, because that's all this is for you. All this stuff is for each and every one of you. What you can do to hand your hand out to another and help them, God bless. That's your divinity, and that's your heart going, here. No ego attached, because it can't matter. Ego's only attached when you expect an outcome. Don't expect an outcome. Who cares? Because you can't make changes happen like that. I started doing these videos. I couldn't care. I just had to put it out there and say, listen, here is the highest way we know to get well. We've been doing it for, I've been doing it for what? Almost 40 years by the time I started these videos, and I'd had cured people all around the world already. So it was just starting to build, and I was just saying, here. Dan talked me into doing the videos. Dan McDonald talked me into doing the videos, which was a good thing. I'd put it off for a couple of years. He kept saying, you need to do the videos. And, of course, he's a good marketer. That's what he does, is marketing. So he was right. But at the same time, it really helped me to help you guys big time. That's been my ultimate goal. How do I reach the world? And I've been doing it through movie stars and different athletes and different, particularly the musicians. I've dealt with a lot of musicians, being one myself. So I thought maybe this was the doorway. But you guys have been showing me what we, where we're going and what we really, what we need to do. And I just, people like Ian and all you guys that are out there, and I just don't mean to focus on him because so many of you are doing so well. Now I want you to know my love goes out to each and every one of you. And congrats goes to each and every one of you. Shannon was just showing me Ian's thing on the internet yesterday, and I'm going, man, just proud of him. Such a good lad, too. I met him at my class, like I said, and just really, that's how you do it. And then you help others get well. No ego intended. That's what you do. That's who you are. No ego, no nothing. You don't expect nothing back. Who cares? Your super is helping. That's your channel. Because if you bottle it up and it's for me, stagnation and, that burns real bad. Remember the lymphatic system in that? Picture that spiritually. You're holding the God force to yourself egotistically. Burn, baby, burn. You'll get more energy and more awareness if you give what you get. If you try to hold what you get, burn, baby, burn. Let it go. You're going to be a channel. It's working through you. God's working through each and every one of you guys, me, all of us here. And it does its thing. Who cares? Sit and enjoy the ride this time. Jeremy, don't expect anything out of that. Doesn't matter. You already accept your divinity. If you're on in that mental area of ego and mind, you might not have let go to get that. So let go of the ego, let go of it doesn't matter anymore. If you have to go spend some time alone, but I would spend more time alone, Jeremy, and spend time just being and letting yourself become all that there is. Nothing, no ego, no nothing. You're in the now. There's no ego in the now. There's no mind in the now. You're working too much in time. Thanks again for all that you've done on earth. Well, thank you, my friend. You know, I love you, and I tell you, it is all a bit of a trip. I tell you, because we all go through these levels, and they rip and rip, because the only way you can leave this world is when you're done. You don't care anymore for it, you're done with it. It's time to go. That's how you want to go, because if you want to come back to this, go ahead. Frankly, the bus needs to keep going for me. Because there's so many other worlds and so many other places that need help and things to experience that are far greater and out of this chemical world. And all I can say is that has really always been my goal, but it doesn't have to be everyone's goal, of course. Health, if you're just into health, fine. If you're watching this video and you don't want any spirituality, that's okay. Just take those health things for yourself and get your physical body healthy. That side will develop itself on its own. And that's the thing. Sometimes we get so much energy, so much power going, that infuses the mind and ego, and then you can't hardly shut it off. I know that too. If you're at that point where you're just too energetic, you're going to have to ground yourself with some vegetables or some steamed vegetables or something. Because now there's going to be a certain point. I brought this up because I don't want to, I really want to. But there's going to be a time in your journey where you've achieved enough wellness that your gig is God conscious. Your gig is to become God aware and to develop yourself into much, much, much higher levels. You just have to let it all go. You have to come back and say, you know what? I might have to have some steamed vegetables. I might have to have a salad to get myself some balance. Because as you move into these higher levels of wanting to be awake and aware, that brings in tremendous amount of energy into your body. Because now, instead of focusing on the limitation of the mind, you've opened that. So you no longer are dealing in the mind. Well, consciousness is the mind. There's no comparison. So when you let go of the final ego, the little self, and you just don't care about yourself anymore, because as you let go of yourself, you gain the big self. And you can't get rid of that self. So, balance. And I've been mentioning it through these videos, balance. Some of you guys are up there now. Some of you guys are way up there. Don't be upset that you have to back up a little in your dietary habits, because man isn't mature enough. You've been asking me about fruitarianism, and I'll be quite truthful with you right now in this video. Almost impossible for most people to achieve it in a long-term stat, only because of their lack of spirituality, to be honest with you. Because this, when you start pounding all fruit, you're pounding the highest vibrational foods on the planet electrically and some of the highest nutritional foods on the planet. You can't get better than that. And when you infuse this level of energy and nutrition from a standard American diet or a standard world diet where you have meats and cheeses and pastas and crap like that, you're taking yourself out of a non-electrical world, putting yourself into a 440 electrical world. I mean, or greater. You're now tuning into electricity. electricity, energy, and remember in quantum physics, energy is consciousness, energy is intelligence. So you're plugging into the all of the all, a lot of energy. And so if you have not mature in consciousness to control the mind and the ego, it's gonna control you. So it's really, you have to just keep letting go, detachment. Listen to Jesus, listen to Buddha, listen to some of the spiritual greats that said the same thing. And they're all saying the same thing, no matter in what form they're saying it. Some people shy away from karma. It's just a quick word to say you reap what you sow. And of course, that's just another thing for every action. There's an opposite and equal reaction. And we know it in science. We know it. That's the way it is. We need to teach it in our religious teachings and things like that as well, and emphasize the importance of your actions, because there's one person they blow back on: you. And that's why you want to make sure what you put out, you're willing to get back, because you're not going to escape that one. It has nothing to do with the law and law enforcement, anything like that. It's the big law enforcer, the natural laws of the universes. Can't do a thing about them, except be detached from them. And from that point of view, they can't touch you, because you're not living in those worlds. But your mind will be subjected to the laws, your ego is subjected to the laws, your emotions and your physical body are all subjected to the laws. For those of you in spiritual that think positive and all that, you can't get away from the laws. You can think yourself any way you want, but if you be yourself in the now, you're being from an area where there is none of that. But outside of that, you're lost in creation. You can say one's high, one's low, positive, negative. Okay, you're still in creation. So I hope that helps you, my friend. And love you, man. Hang in there. Hang in there. I'll see if I can do more spiritual videos and see if that'll help you at all. All right, this is from Gregory. Hello, Dr. Morse. None of the words can express my... Oh, wow, thanks, man. I appreciate it, Gregory. You know what? I've loved you guys, because you guys are getting the simplicity of this and how well you can take this and not only help yourself to some great heights, but help others that are suffering, because we're all from the same bread. We're all from the same table, so to speak. And, just seeing others as you, it just brings your heart when you see someone suffering. You want to help that, But again, we all create our own isms. We all create our own paradigm. We all create all this. And we just have to wake up to that, and we can also uncreate it. Isn't that cool? Just remember that. You're not stuck forever with what you got. Sometimes it takes time to unwind what you got, but hang in there. You can get more aggressive, you can get less aggressive. I mean, there's all kinds of ways we can do it that way. Okay. I have a question. Can eating only fruits help in a schizophrenia case? Absolutely. The thing is, you want to work on the glands. Diet is for sure, but think about using herbs for these problems. Be careful with the glandulars, no question, but sometimes when your glands are really chronic, the glandulars are good. And sometimes some people can't handle glandulars. And there's just some people that can't handle glandulars. And others can, vibrationally speaking. When your glands are in a very hypo state, they'll take anything. They need to be uplifted, they need to be turned on, and that sort of thing. So it can. But in schizophrenia, you want to deal with which two endocrine glands? Oh, you guys are good. Parathyroid and adrenals. Heck yeah. Bipolar the same way. 21 years old patient is not competent with anything, herbs. However, if fruits could be the only option to eat in the house, then this could be the only way to help. Gregory, I'd go that way. May the blessings. I love you, man. That'd be the only way. You start that way. Any way you can, you do it. Any way you can get into that person, any way, do it. It's a step. And then when you can, you add another step. You give them one formula. They just take this one. Make it the superfood blend or something like that. Because if you could just take the superfood blend, guess what? I snuck some herbs in there. Did you notice? I stuck some herbs for your kidneys. I stuck some herbs in there, right? So the superfood blend in and of itself is an incredible food source. So you get someone just on a superfood blend here. Just take this as just a vitamin mineral supplement, you could call it. Until they are able to understand and be able to deal with things like that. Then you can tell them what it really is. But, most people identify with vitamins and stuff like this, so you could say something like that. Just something like that can work on them nutritively and energetically. That's what you're looking for. And I, of course, have the berries in there for the glands. Notice that? So I made that superfood to help heal you. At the same time, give you all kinds of nutrition, almost too much. But it's enough to say that there's also a little trick on those things, and that is to help your kidneys, help your glands, help everything else. Why not? Would you want to take a food that helps to rebuild you while you're taking it? Absolutely. So that's something like that's what I would do, bro. And see how you can get. But yeah, absolutely, you do what you can do. Give them one herb, give them two herbs, give them just foods. Who cares? Any step on the path is a step closer to well-being for whoever. And if you have love in your heart, because you have yourself, Jeremy, once you have yourself, that's it. You don't need anything else. You found yourself. That's all you need. You don't need to own the world because you own something far greater. You own eternity. You own consciousness. Nothing can't be bought, can't be sold. It's what you already are. Isn't that cool? It's simple to get that. But, the mind doesn't like you to let go of it, and the ego definitely doesn't want you to let go of it. Because we've empowered them so much, now they've almost taken a life of their own. But you can do it. You can do it. I'm grabbing from two piles. Oh, I love that. Hello, dear Doc. I love that. Monique. Hi, my dear one. We love you. You like these? Yeah, I get a lot of clothes from Orbis, and kind of an outdoor guy, And so these are from Orbis. Thanks. I like them too. Readers, but I ordered them. I was at a 2, but now they're too strong. I'm working on myself more and more and more, and so they're almost too strong, But could you please share your thoughts on the traditional Japanese diet, supposedly being the healthiest in the world, resulting in the healthiest people in the world? Yeah, good question on that one. Actually, all your islanders are the healthiest people in the world. If you do your own China study and you have clients from all around the world that I've been so blessed to work with, you really, it doesn't take long, you realize the islanders have it. Those people that are raised on fruit, you can't beat them in any way, shape, or form. They are the ones. And so, any diets that are close to those, with more vegetables in them and stuff like this. The macrobiotic diet, however, again, if you have to cook something to make it palatable or digest better, it's not for you. That's simple. I didn't make you go, oh, look, this food I can't digest, let me go cook it. That's not in the order of nature. Not at all. Nature simply produces the food you need. We're just living in wrong places. But we have to. Look at how we've colonized this planet. So it's all set up that way, of course. But then, as this planet lifts itself up a little at a time, there'll be other lower planets. You'd be surprised what's out there. But at this lower level, it'll come up a little higher. Everything. It's always in the chain of events. Even in creation, every areas go, and another areas are created. So this area has to come up a little bit. You can only burn so much at these negative levels without burning the planet. And of course, remember that's what the Hopis and the Sioux were saying. We burn the planet too much. But with that said, this is all about you and your journey. This is just creation. You can love the mother, you can love the earth or whatever, but this is all duality. This is all illusion. It comes and it goes. The reality of survival throughout eternity is consciousness. If you want to survive and be conscious doing it, then the only way is to let go of the mind and emotion. Become detached of these worlds and playing in these worlds. It doesn't mean you can't play, but it means you can't play desirably. I mean, change your focus. But there's plenty of souls in this world that have to attack this world and climb the mountains and play all they want. Now we got the extreme side of that. Oh my God, some of these guys and gals what they're doing is unbelievable. Some of these extreme sports, but there's also so much of that you can do. Where's the real thrill? The real thrill that is endless, that is boundless, is you, your higher self, pure consciousness. Once you tap into that, you won't worry about the ego anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. You're home. You don't need to be anywhere else. You just keep surrendering more and more and more. At the same time, you must be proactive because you have bodies. So you have to run your bodies, but you run them from a different point of view this time. And therefore, you get to know more about being more conscious with your decisions and what's happening. Just all kinds of stuff is neater. Japanese elders certainly look about 20 years younger than most Westerners. Oh, yeah. I mean, look at the Westerner diet. I mean, you talk about, well, but no offense to you Brits, but, you know, you Brits don't have such a good diet either. I mean, you take a look. I mean, in Portugal, we had a pastry shop everywhere I turned. Of course, I've really not been much for pastries. Doesn't faze me one little bit. I don't have to have pastries at all. I'm not a bread, a grain, none of those things. I clean the fungus out of me, but I'm sure I'm loaded back again. But I don't have any desire for those kind of foods. But custard. Custard. Who invented friggin' custard? God, it is so good it has all the bads. Custard. You ever have pumpkin custard pie? God. Now, those are the challenges. But that's the nature of consciousness. It wants to see what it can create. That's the nature of these worlds. But some of you have been doing this too long, and you're tired from doing this. It's time to go on to a higher level of creating. You know, there's all kinds of levels of creating. This one is like Play-Doh. It's silly. It's ridiculous. Okay, I'll make this. I'll try to make this. Okay. No, you want a much higher level of beauty and love and ecstasy and joy in every moment of your experience. Absolutely. Well, I can say that anytime you have more vegetables in your diet, cooked or not, you're going to be healthier, less meat, things like that, and the types of meat, the grains, the cheeses, the milks, absolutely. When you look at the Western and, like I say, the British diet, they're all bad. But then the Mexican diet isn't much better. The Italian diet's terrible. The Polish diet. I mean, when you start looking at all of our diets around the world, and I'm not separating us all, but all countries have their bads. And we all have to learn out of all that. That, you know, pastas and breads and cheeses and cooked cheeses and beans and all this stuff like that. That's why we're where we're at. It's what we eat. But I can tell you, I bear witness to a lot of the macrobiotics, and they don't look that way. Their skin is gray. And these are the top fish and raw food eaters in terms of that. And then they steam because they don't believe in the raw so much. And so they steam. So most everything they eat is cooked and dead. They're a little healthier than the next guy, but they're not vibrant. They don't give vibrant energy. Their skin isn't vibrant and gives off vibrant energy. But it wouldn't take much to outlive Americans. I mean, our diet is flat bad. I mean, when you see the kids walking around with neon-colored drinks, and they glow in the dark, there's something wrong with this picture, and we actually sell that crap to them. I mean, I just can't believe we just have no conscious, no responsibility there in terms of health. And as long as it's chemicals and it's the FDA is acceptable, here, take it. It's all about the money now. There's little cancer and virtually zero breast cancer in women without going too much into the current radioactive fault. I know, there's all of that too. I always thought the Japanese were a healthier race, although I do see a tremendous amount of GI tract problems and stuff in the Asian people, big time. But, you know, definitely healthier and stuff, no question, but still not the vibrancy that the islanders raised on fruit have. I've never seen anybody have that level of vibrancy, you know, as the islanders. Well, Japan is an island, sort of, so you've got to understand that. But you've got to have a high level of fruits and berries and melons in your diet, or a high level of fruits and raw foods in your diet. We're raw foodists, and there's no way a cooked food person. But you have had societies that do better. But I think if you really looked at that, like the China study, and you really looked at the different cultures and civilizations, you definitely can see the blowback from the meats and all that, the high-protein diets and stuff like that. You don't see high-protein diets here in the Japanese as much. I bet you do coming on today, though. Everything's more meat, more meat, more meat, more meat. And so that picture is changing. and of the Japanese, what is the universal weakness that you see? Outside of the GI tract, kidneys. Okay, I'm wondering if traditionally it's more so what they don't eat. Yeah. Oh, I think you're right on. I think you're right on, Monique. I think you're exact. Well, that's what I'm saying. What they don't eat. You're right on, honey. Right on. But there's levels to everything. You know, I'm not judging one level over another so much, but you know, we're into regenerating people. I don't care what people eat after they detox and do that. Who controls any of that but the individual themselves? But if you want to detox and regenerate tissue, isn't it interesting what level of food you have to consume? And especially you with neurological, ADD, ADHD, schizophrenia, MS, Lou Gehrig's, Parkinson, any of these. You got to be on the fruits, and the berries. I've had enough experience, I think, that I can say that for sure. This is a good one. Question on freckles. Yep, I've always wondered that myself, honey. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'll say VH. Hi, Doc Morris. Are freckles fungus like beauty spots? Or, you know what? I really think they're more from the pituitary. I think they're much more skin pigmentation spots. I think your white spots are your fungal spots, your darker liver spots, of course, but your white spots are all the fungal. Those, you get little white spots on your skin, those are fungal patches for sure. But I don't think freckles are fungus spots. I do think they are very much involved in your pituitary and in that. I guess you went back to like, we're talking about Ireland, Scotland, those that have more freckles. Be interesting to see, to have a study and look at endocrine glands and stuff like that and see where we are in pituitaries and everything. Oh, the studies and stuff we could do with the eyes and stuff. Oh my God. Give us some research money. I'm sure a lot of you out there would like to do some research. And I tell you, wouldn't it be cool if we had that kind of money instead of killing and destroying and hurting animals because we're trying to find a cure for what? I don't know. And really asking the pertinent questions and the right questions and doing a lot. Oh man, endless questions that we could come up with. Neat stuff to research. And this lady's from France. That's why I couldn't pronounce your name. You're French. Resubmission. Oh, good. Okay. This is from Smokey. All right. I want to thank you for your channel. It is truly enlightening. Thanks so much, my friend. Look at this. I'm a 20-year-old female from South Africa. It's a sad thing. We can't ship to Africa. It's just a sad thing. It's a sad thing. Africa's been so beat up. It's just a sad thing. Well, Mutt Lang is in South Africa. Started out in South Africa. Robert Lang. Doctors have put me on antibiotics more than 7 times this year due to my tonsillitis flares that would not go away. Here we go down that road again. This just killed the bacteria in the body and not focus on the real cause is the lymph system. Oh yeah. I realized that my health was at risk and did some research. I like this 20-year-old already. I like you guys. You're able to do research, get up on. Thank God we have the internet, you know it. Although they're desperately trying to control it, boy. These countries are chomping at their bit, drooling to control the internet. I bet that's got to hurt. I decided to ditch all meat and dairy and eat as much fruit as I can to get rid of all that mucus. Now you're thinking. I have not been sick on any medication in 4 months and feel extreme relief. Yeah! And right there's a testimonial. I read these testimonials for Jeremy's, or who was it, Humphrey's sake. When you ask me about testimonials, I read them here all the time. But again, many company has been shut down by the FDA for violating their rights, and too bad they didn't sue them. This time that happens anywhere close, we're going after them. There's not going to be any more of this kind of crap, because you just can't have violations of rights anymore at this level. But if you can get better on something, you have the right to tell the world about it. That's your right. Right just to being a human being. And no country and no government has a right to stifle you with that. It's just a narcissistic elitist who then hire the goons with the guns. I have not been, that's pretty good. Congratulations, sweetheart. Keep cleaning though. Look at your kidneys, check your urine because you want to be filtering. Remember, you're moving on that lymph system. So these are lymph nodes. So you run the risk of other lymph nodes being swollen. You want to protect your breast, so make sure these axillary lymph nodes are clean. You know what I'm saying? You get your lymph nodes all down, get your kidneys filtering, your adrenals up. You're 20 years old, so you know those are 2 areas you have to work on. Get those up, and you're good. If you look at your eyes, see what genetics. You're 20 years old, you can work all those out, and you can live right on past 100 and right on. You know, what kills us in the first place? Acidosis. Acidosis. There's only 2 sides of chemistry. So does base chemistry kill us? Acids kill us. So that's the thing. And what's the most common cause of death? Kidney failure. Which leads to everything else. Good job. I've been trying to be as raw as possible and have made dandelion herb tea that I have found locally. Good woman. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Whatever you can find locally herb-wise, look, like I said, look at the formula, see what herbs I'm using, see what you can find locally, do research in your own herbology, see if there's any herbs there for the kidneys, for the lymph system, and put the best herbs you can find. Talk around, ask around, call some herbalists you can find, go into some herb shops if there is any, health food stores if there's any, fish around to which herbs in your country is the strongest ones or what people are using and make yourself a little formula. I'd say 4 to 5 herbs per formula is good enough, actually. So that would give you, you're always working from 100%. So you got 100%, you got 4 herbs. How much percentage does each herb get? 25%, 25%. But what if you liked one herb more powerful than the other? You would want to make that maybe 30%. I generally have 5, 6, 7 herbs in my formulas, if not more. So I'm generally working anywhere between 10 and 20% for my strongest ones, all the way down to 1 to 2% for my minor ones. Now, if you research Michael Tara's work, he's got traditional medicine, he's got all of that, he's got Ayurveda, he's a good dude. He's got a lot of good information on that. But just keep working with that. Keep looking at that, get your formulas put together like that. Some herbs push, some pull. So you play with that and see, muscle test your formulas, that sort of thing, and start playing with that a little bit. Even as an individual herb, something like that, even raw state, take that. Because dandelion, of course, is kidneys, adrenals, and of course the liver. The root's more for the liver, the greens are more for kidneys and bladder. But, good. This is just what you guys are supposed to do. You guys are getting good. This is just what you're supposed to do. Look what you can find and help yourself. You want your kidneys, you want the glands, the adrenals. You want to work on those. Get those up there. And just getting that lymph system moving. But you're doing just right. And pull that all out. Isn't that funny? You did in 4 months what they've been loading you up with antibiotics, killing your beneficial bacteria in your lymph nodes and everything else. For what reason? They don't understand the lymph system. See, and that's sad because then they put you in harm's way by doing that. Because if bacteria isn't breaking down your acids in your body, who is? Nobody. And if you want to experience a 3 pH pain, which is what most of you are experiencing that has fibromyalgia, lupus, Lyme's, all those, 3 pH pain. Now, let's say that you're experiencing, all you guys that are in pain, think of it about 3 pH. That's like holding Coca-Cola in your mouth until it just burns you till the pain is going insane, right? Now, think about taking an acid in that's 10 to 50 times hotter than that. That's chemotherapy. You see why these kids and everybody's running from it? Oh no, we're going to grab them and force it on them. We have become barbaric. Not us. They have. That's insane. Especially when a judge thinks he has the right to do something like that. I think that's elitist narcissism, don't you? That's what I think too. Okay, now I'm experiencing excessive acne all over my entire face. Now, is that linked to your tonsils? Absolutely, sweetheart. That's your thing. Now, what did you do? You just kicked everything on. When you went on the fruit, you just kicked everything on, right? So what you did is you started giving the body energy and chemistry to detoxify itself. Oh, kidneys are locked. Oh, God, I can't get all this down through the kidneys. It's just going to take me a while to work on that. Where else can I dump my waste? How? I just go out the skin. That's okay. We got plenty of skin. We can get rid of all this stuff. And that's just what's happened to you. You know, and you're promoting this. It's not a negative thing. Only medical doctors see those things as negative. Those aren't negative. That's hey, I've got waste buildup under my skin, and that's telling me while my skin's having to do this, that must mean my kidneys aren't functioning like they should be. See where I'm going with this, sweetheart? You've got to get your kidneys filtering. Do the urine test, you know, pee in a jar and see if you have the sediment. Do the sediment test. Yep, and then you'll be good with that. I'm not sure how to get rid of it. Keep going. You're not trying to attack it. This is stuff kind of come out of you. You're not trying to stop it. You're not trying to attack it. And the only way you can stop it is get rid of it. Don't you think? If you stop it and push it back in, that's your hell. That's your future hell. That's your future tumor. That's your future pain. That's your future everything that you don't want to experience. And that's the problem. We can no longer have suppressive modalities. You can't do that anymore. We're at chronic and degenerative levels. You can't suppress chronic levels. You kill the person. That's just what's happening. We're at the end of treatment-based thinking. We're at the end of that. Can't have that anymore. Not for the human race to survive. That's just what we're trying to feed this planet. It's not just me. We got a lot of spiritual beings helping us. And you just have to uplift ourselves a little bit. I have started to take Chinese herbs, which help a bit. My hair is also slightly thinning. That's why that's on the face. See the correlation between the face and the hair loss? That's what acids do, sweetheart. That's what lymph suppression or lymph stagnation does. It takes off the hair, it turns the hair gray, it dehydrates interstitially, it makes the skin bad, it tears down cells. It does everything you see in a dis-ease scenario. I'm also feeling stronger connection with spirituality, which I did not encounter, and it feels amazing, don't it? See what I'm saying? Well, this feels real amazing. Absolutely. There's nothing like it. It's all feel-good stuff. There's some that have to get rid of the anger and the hate and all that. I've got anger too from places, and I try to get it out. But it's only my frustration with how man's treating themselves. It's like, my God, you all are spiritual beings from the source, and look at how you're treating each other. Ugh. Doctors have also put me on Accutane in the past. Maybe my body is cleaning house now. Remember that too. Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, honey. Well, you know, all this has been suppressed, and now you're opening your door. So expect to see it on the skin. Don't freak out. This is just now you're doing it the right way, the way you should have done it in the beginning. But you didn't know any better. You trusted the doctors that have a lot of years of training. Into what? I'm not sure. But it's enough to say you're doing it the right way now, and that's important to you to get your kidneys filtering, because this is systemic. Hair loss, Alzheimer's, dementia, you know, that's future stuff. Strokes, heart attacks, all fall into this same paradigm of acidosis. Don't like this paradigm, right? More seriously, I felt my lower back hurting. Okay, there you go. There's your kidney awareness, all right? Hey, look. Yeah, I've got the same thing we all do. Pastive high-protein diet, smart thinking. And my pee, to be clear, so I found an herbal kidney formula. Exactly what you guys are smart. I am loving you guys to death. This is just how you do it. You are one smart lady, honey. And you're only 20. Now, my tendons in my wrist and forearm are constantly sore. Well, you know, you're detoxing. Kick it up. You're detoxing, and you're going to pull stuff out. You're going to feel stuff. You're going to feel your weaknesses. Okay, work through it. And on the other side, well, spirituality, God, love, all the things that people want to be happy and feel good, and they'll put all your marbles in creation. You never, when you have an investor and you have money, the one rule is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because that basket goes, so does all your eggs. You invest in different places. And that's just what you have to do here. Forearm is constantly sore and strained, and I feel a built up in my hands. Now, look at one thing as you're detoxing. Get your eyes and take a look at your body and see if you have a parathyroid weakness. If you're having this much joint problem and stuff like that, take a look at the parathyroid and take a look at that. But you're going to have these problems in these areas because these are the areas we work and create more acidosis in, so therefore we have more problems in the joints. It all happens in acidosis. All activity creates acidosis. We all know that. Creates dehydration. Well, when you have stagnant kidneys and you're not filtering, it creates the same thing. Nothing ever happens good under the sky of acidosis and dehydration. Nothing ever good comes of that. My muscles are aching in my hands. Well, your lymph system's backed up head to toe. You might want to pull your eyes, sweetheart, and take a look. How bad is your lymph system? Because it tells me right here your kidneys are down, or at least not filtering, you know what I mean? And sometimes slightly in my toe. It goes away when I keep flickering them for 5 minutes. You got real stagnant lymph. Keep on that fruit diet. Pound it. Go after that. Get your bowels cleaned up. The sad thing is we can't get herbs to you of the quality and level you could use. You do your best. You look for kidney herbs, lymphatic herbs, glandular herbs, and that's where you go. My muscles are aching in my hands and feel weak. Well, you need those adrenal glands, sweetheart. When your kidneys are down, guess what else is down with them? Your adrenal glands. What does your adrenal glands offer you? Well, it offers you about, how many, 50 steroids or more? You've got over 24 or 5 of them related to mineral utilization. You have your sugar metabolism. You've got your gonadal operation there with your estrogen, the testosterone, the fine analysis of testosterones, and your progesterone neutralizers. And, so you've got a big, whoa. We got a medulla, however you wish to say that. Now we have neurotransmitters. What do? They run the sympathetic side of your nervous system, and that's, when you feel weaker and weaker, take a look at that. One, your lymph is backing up, creating more inflammation or acidosis, then your nervous system's going down because of low neurotransmitters, and then things just get multiply. You're more fatigue, you start grabbing for coffee, you start grabbing for meat, you start grabbing for anything that gives you energy. What about meat gives you energy? We've talked about it many times. Neurotransmitters, not protein. Protein doesn't do that. Proteins are amino acids or act as carriers more than anything else. Yeah, tissue a little bit, but more for carriers. This scares me. I often wake up terrified to pins and needles in my hands and sometimes slightly in my toe. Well, I would take a little jaunt down to a chiropractor, hopefully that knows kinesiology, and have them looking up and down my spine. At the same time, if your spine's out, you know immediately your lymph's out, because the lymph pulls the spine out. And it goes back to that whole thing of what acidosis does internally. From dehydration to pulling the spine out to ravishing you of calcium to filling you full of lipid plaques. Just keep on going down that road. And when they say infection, that's what's infectious. It's acidosis. And that would scare me too. So you have your back looked at a good chiropractor. At the same time, you keep honking on, because it sounds to me your lymph system is involved all in your head and everywhere else. To have this acne all over your skin, you know immediately your lymph is backed up all in your head. But what was your warning? Tonsillitis. It was saying, you're full. I'm full, my lymph nodes are swollen, and they can't get swollen much more. I'm going to let you know it. Oh, we can just cut them out. That's okay. We don't have to listen to what they're trying to tell us. We can just cut them out. That doesn't make sense to me at all, when you think about it. Doctor says this is just from excess texting and away I sleep. Well, they must know. If you're constantly texting, what are you using? Your joints, right? There's no problem with that. These are made to work all they want. if you're removing the chemical residues from all the activity of these cells involved in the process of my movement. If not, they're going to slowly get stiff, they're slowly going to start curving, or I'm going to get these things where I get these trigger fingers and all these things people get. See where I'm going? Okay, I am so vulnerable, and my family is against me being vegan, which keeps making me doubt. No, they're the ones with the problem, not you, sweetheart. Your parents are the one with the problem, and it's called unawareness. They're just not privy to this. They're not aware of this. And sometimes when you try to teach them, heck them to a video and let them watch it. Because all people, parents and children and everybody alike, has to get to this. And the problem is parents are so ignorant sometimes of health, they just believe what they've been told and what they see on the news, that they make their kids eat wrong. And then their kids have all kinds of problems. So all I can tell you is stand up for your right to eat the way you want. Because there's no way eating raw foods is inferior to eating cooked dead foods. These people have to just understand the simplicity of that. They should be proud of you as their child, and you're 20, so who cares anyway, but they should be proud of you because you're an outstanding woman. At 20 years old, look what you're thinking, what you're doing for yourself and helping yourself. How many 20-year-olds think that? But I get letters from 13-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 17-year-olds. I'm proud of every one of them. How many people stand up at that age and think these things? I'm amazed with you guys. You guys are the future for sure of this planet. Who cares what your parents think? And don't fall into doubt. Know your journey. Know your truth. And stand on those principles. You're proving it to yourself. And that's the best thing you can do is prove it to yourself. When you get yourself well, then you can say, parents and stuff, look at me. I've got a lot of cases that are way out there, guys, way out there that I'm pulling back slowly and slowly and slowly. The parents are freaked, everybody's freaked, but they're riding the ride because they've tried everything else, medical doctors for years and everything. Some of you guys have got yourself way out there. And so, and you know who I'm talking about, don't we? And you're coming back. A lot of you are now finally seeing the light. So just be aware of that. And be aware of all you guys that tattoo your body all over. Be aware of the ink toxicity because we've got some clients suffering like you can't believe because of this. So you be careful what you're doing to your body because what you put in is be your nightmare or your joy. It's that simple. And you might be your joy while you're enjoying the taste of a Barbie, but it'll be your future nightmare. So you have to be real careful and learn as much as you can now because in this world right now, survival depends upon only one person. One person is in control of survival. And you already know who I'm going to say. It's you. And you take that rightful place because you need to. You don't be like a leaf blowing in the wind. Oh, my parents might not, they don't believe me, so I kind of doubt what I'm doing. No, you don't doubt what you're doing. You know what you're doing is truth. You're seeing it for yourself. They're the ones that don't have the awareness. So you either drop little Johnny Appleseed, little Zen things to them. You can use Zen. That's a good way to do it. You know. Oh, you like that dead animal, huh? I was at the grocery store the other day, and our dogs do eat boar's head meat. And so I'm at the meat counter, and I don't eat meat. I might taste here and there once in a while, just a taste and spit it out, but that's not what I'm there. I'm there for the dogs. And there's this lady standing at the meat counter, and she said something. I said, "Oh, you in here buying dead animals?" And she said, "I never heard that called that before," and she couldn't get over that. She was buying some dead animals stuff, you know, and I said, "I'm buying dead animals for my dogs, but I don't eat dead animals." She's going, "I never heard it called dead animals before. You know, you got to zen them somehow." Okay, I know meat and dairy will not result in my health. Will not result in my health. You know it won't. Yeah, absolutely. Those are the two health destroyers. I also saw that antibiotics and high-protein diets cause eye changes. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. Ooh, wow. This is a smart woman. I included my left and right eye for analysis. Also is my herbal range available in. Also is your herbal range available in SA. Yeah, where are you from? SA. South. Let me see here. I'll be glad to help you, sweetie, but they didn't pull your eyes for me. Your help will be much appreciated. Kind regards and lots of love. Thanks, Des. You know what, Des? I don't have your eyes here to look at, and I'm about out of time, but boy, I'd like to see them. You know what? Let me make a note for Chris. Chris, can I see her eyes? Thanks. Okay. I'll take a look at them for you, sweetheart. Let's see where we go. Sorry and namaste, doctor. Oh, well, that's good. I forgot to ask about one big thing I will do for 2 weeks. I will be doing a panchakarma. I never could pronounce that properly. You know that? I never could. Panchakarma, which is clearing procedure of Ayurvedic in India. The one thing I have to emphasize is the no dairy in any of the 5 actions. Absolutely. I just heard one video of yours speaking of removing waste in GI tract, so I want to ask about your understanding or promotion of Panchakarma. Panchakarma. You know what? I've read about that years and years ago. I don't know. I forgot so many years. You know, I've been, just really roaming in the God worlds up there. So I don't know what that alludes to. Matt, so what do you think, Matt? Let's see. I'm going to spend 3.5 months in India. I am trying to figure out if spirulina is, this is the one first and then the second one. Out if spirulina is good or not. You speak often of sulfur, and I need to know what your theory or information on spirulina, alfalfa, wheatgrass, and I don't know what that is either. I am sorry to ask such open. No, that's not an open question. Heck no. Heck no. Sorry about that. I am not yet completely raw, nor am only into fruit diet yet. We'll be doing lots of yoga and spending more time with myself in a village. That'll be so cool. That's cool. And if you can do all fruit while you do that, that's too cool. It's hard in India because the food smell. But if you can do that, that would be cool beans. I'll say you this, no matter what you're trying to do in meditation anywhere, and each has its own take, but just know that you're trying to get beyond the mind and beyond the id into the real self. And to get into that higher level, you have to let go of the lower level. Just make sense? You can't hold on to this level and have that level at the same time. It doesn't work that way. You have to let go of this level. It'll still be here for you, but you're not the body. That body's something distinctly from you. You don't own your emotions. You don't own your mind. Your universal mind. We can share thoughts. Communicate through the mind. Absolutely, do it on many levels. But it isn't you. So in any India or any place you go, in an ashram, up in the Himalayas, I don't care who master you're with, or what yoga or Buddhist monks. I don't care who you're with. The journey is still you and your connection to the infinite, and you're a part of that infinite. It's not that you want to experience the infinite, you're already part of that infinite. And if you try to separate yourself from here's you and there's God, you'll never get there or here. The only way to get here is to reverse that and know you're working from God first and then down into the bodies. Change your viewpoint. And that's all you got to do is change your viewpoint. That's how quick you can do it. So looking to, look from. That's simple. Change that viewpoint, because that's all it is. You are mainly the viewpoint. You're mainly the observer of the movie. Just like you go to a movie. Remember, you're the observer. You forget, though, when you become the actor, that you're just the observer. And the actor has its fun, and they go out, and you have all your drama, and yeah. And then you have the drama to find yourself. That's a whole other drama. You go through that. The master of the Chila, all that sort of thing. I'm here to make a shortcut from all of that for you guys. Let's just let that journey keep on going. But for you guys, there's a shortcut. Well, I'm going to cut off today here, guys. I got so much to do. Ooh. Okay. I can't pronounce your name. Or is that just a name? Bountdoom? I don't know. But anyway, how can I cope with the toxins being released into my bloodstream on an all-fruit diet? That's not where toxins are released, my friend. Although you could have some kickback, you have some blowback with cholesterols and stuff like that. Perhaps you could get a little blowback. That's the important thing you have to understand is that fruit neutralizes that. The very food you're eating is self-cleansing and neutralizing because most toxins are acids. Look at it from an acid-based viewpoint, no matter what toxins we're talking about. And so you're into neutralizing these toxins. The problem is you want them out of the human body as well. That's the lymph system. And if you want to blame the blood, okay, the blood has to clean itself too. So you have spleen to clean, but you have the kidneys. They're the keys. What is dialysis and when do you have to go there and what's wrong? And remember, dialysis doesn't touch the lymph system at all. So people's lymph system keeps going down, down, down. They can get the neuropathies, they get everything else because they're going down, down. The adrenals keep going down, down, down. So now you have blood sugar problems. You're a diabetic, and then you're on dialysis. And they look it all into one. It's like, excuse me. You have tissue that are down, and those tissues control a gigantic sewer system. And that's your cleansing system. So it's fruits that help to save that. Greens are great neutralizers as well, but you could take liquid chlorophyll if you wanted to, but to tell you the truth, fruits are great, especially grapes, great. But you want them out. You're detoxifying all these out of your body. If you wanted to protect yourself even more, take herbs. Like we have a blood formula to keep the blood clean and healthy and stuff like that. But wait a minute, what about the lymph interfacing with the blood? Don't we need a clean lymph to have a good blood? Absolutely. See, everything interfaces and everything else. So, I think your question is important, but you have to understand that it is the fruit diet that's doing all of this. Let's see, what are some things that I can do that will help to alleviate my discomfort in a way that isn't destructive, like eating man-made processed foods? Well, if you're having a hard time and you have a lot of chemical sensitivities and stuff, you might want to switch down and have some parsley, dandelion greens, and some real strong green drink with that. You could have 2 strong green drinks a day and then everything else. Get up into the dark grapes, the red or black grapes. Baby, you're going to move everything out. Make sure your kidneys are filtering and work on that. And make sure, because of all the chemical detox formulas, all your greens are very much a part of that. But the fruit is going to clean you much more aggressively. If it's too aggressive for you, back down off the fruits and go to the greens for a while and then kick up to the fruit. You can do that too. No big deal. Unless you have a short period to live and you have tumors that you have to deal with. That's another question. I'm bad about this. You guys asked some great questions. I'm just bad. Oh, this is Jason. Hey, Jason. That's my stepson's name. Typically, how long does it take to eliminate nerve rings in the eye, and which of your formulas should I buy first? Well, first of all, good question. I've seen nerve rings go away 6 months to a year. And then I've seen people not be able to get rid of them even that quick. Jensen used to claim he could get rid of them too, but I don't know. He wasn't a vitalist, so I don't know. I'll say this. First area to work on is adrenals. There's your controlling factor of the nervous system, the one we're talking about, which is which one? The autonomic, absolutely. So the adrenals are the controlling factor there, so you want to hit those adrenals and get your neurotransmitters out. You want blood pressure somewhere between 120 and 130 to 60 over 70. You want to fall into that magic range somewhere. Any higher, inflammation. Any lower, weakness. That's how it works. Low blood pressure, weakness, high blood pressure, inflammation, acidosis, swelling, dehydration, stuff like that. So, but I would hit those adrenal glands and also brain and nerve and upper circulation. Hello, Marcy. You want to say hi because I'm getting ready to say bye?
Yes, I do.
Come on down.
I don't know who all can see me, where I got to be in this
Right
picture.
here, right here, right here, right here, right here.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're going to have a wonderful, fantastic weekend. No, not hope you're going to. Go out and make it happen.
Yeah!
Go make it happen.
Yeah! It's going to be huge! Oh, that's that local guy, crazy guy. Yeah. You know, Marcy's got a copy of a healthy cell and a cancer cell, and we want to show you that. We're going to put it up on the, and we've been telling you we're going to really make our website really good for you guys. A good research site. Absolutely. Appreciate all the good stuff you're sending us. I want to show you just what happens. Really interesting about the cell, isn't it?
Oh,
all the mucus and proteins attack, and that correlates with the lymphatic research
absolutely.
lady who was saying, well, all the protein we find around cells. Duh. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not protein that packs on the cells. It's excess protein.
Oh, excess. Dang.
Who's telling us to eat protein?
Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. We love you. Bye-bye.